everyone. Welcome to No Movies in Hell. I'm Chris Geiger.
I'm LaClaw Scott, and today we are reviewing Who is Stan Smith, documentary by Danny Lee.
I watched this on your recommendation, streaming at home, even though it was available at the theaters on the day I streamed it at home. I just didn't have time to get out when it was playing. Very cool. I didn't know anything about Stan Smith. I mean, I knew about the sneaker, of course. I don't own any of the sneakers, although I have considered purchasing in the past.
Yeah.
But so interesting to learn about him, the choices that he's made over his career. Really great to see the original footage that he was able to use in the film. In addition to just interviews, of course, of people of him and of people who know him and have known him for years. So I thought it was well done.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was at a work retreat and was looking at Instagram and saw that Danny had posted a poster of the movie, and then that it was going to be at Doc NYC. And that day I was like, oh, I might be able to go home to make it, and then quickly realize that there's going to be a ton of traffic coming from upstate. And I was like, no, I'm not going to make it. And I think that's when I messaged you hey, this is going on and here's a link. Yeah, I had no clue of who Stan Smith is. I remember as a kid, hearing about the shoe, obviously. And I think I asked my mom, who was Stan Smith? And she's like, oh, he's a tennis player. And I was just kind of okay, whatever. But it also kind of links for me. It's that vernacular of sneakers versus tennis shoe, especially in California. When we had sneakers, we called them tennis shoes. And I think that was the reason why, is because it kind of opened at least my mom's generation to, it doesn't function as streetwear. It's kind of classy type, shoe, athletic shoe that you can wear with jeans or with pants or, almost like a elevated style. And then I see people, wear them and I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. And I still had no clue who he was until literally just now. I'm just surprised that you hear of other, documentaries, and this one hadn't come up, of this person who's known now for merchandise and an actual wearable, but they don't know the history of how he became a championship winning, Wimbledon winning tennis player, and then all that he has done in his life to give back and also create change and literally transform somebody's life is incredible. And I, like yourself, I really enjoyed seeing the footage from the 70s, the 60s, the 70s, all the way up to, the 90s. And I think I was pleasantly surprised by how much Arthur Ashe was in this documentary too, because my scope is very limited of tennis in general and an impact. But I know that, growing up, it was very, even my grandfather, I think, was very pro Arthur Ashe and pro that very polished and prestigious type, even in dress, because you see somebody that looks like you and is playing in a very respectable sport. And so that had an impact on my family who lived in California. So I just thought it was really interesting, all the avenues that it went down, and then brought it back to back in the day, people were approached to partner with brands so that they can make money. I just think it's incredible. It's insane that it took this long to know who this person is. And I feel that around, different things that you buy, and it's a celebrity tie-in, and you're oh, who is the person? You probably know that person. Really great job.
Yeah, I think it's timely as well, right? Of course, because Adidas has been in the news a lot about their celebrity partnerships recently, and for them to, spoiler alert, for them to have said at the end of the documentary, we want a lifetime contract with Stan Smith. We don't want him to go anywhere else. We don't want him to be affiliated with any other brands in the athletic wear department. That That's a strong statement, especially in the current climate where
Yeah.
like you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't think if you would ask the Adidas people 6 months ago if they would be where they are now
Oh
with
my
their
gosh.
celebrity endorsements, they would have even guessed that that's what would have happened. So, not to give any more attention to that.
Yeah. I was like,
but it just makes it even more relevant because I'm sure the documentary filmmaker did not know that was going to happen either.
oh
When he was
no.
making this. So,
In fact, I don't know. I bet that there was probably a couple of interviews that were thrown away.
it's possible. It is possible.
Watching this film, and I was thinking, man, there are going to be some really great documentaries out, this year, just based off of the things that we reviewed and this one. And I hope to see more about people who aren't just mega superstars or whatever that we hear about, but people who are like, making a difference in kind of quiet, heroes. And they may not have a sneaker, they may not be appended to a brand per se, but they're making a difference.
Right. I think I just saw something about a new documentary about the volcanologist couple.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's by Werner Herzog.
Oh wow, he did one for about them.
I just saw that go by in something the other day. I'll look it up and I'll put it in the description if I find it again. So he did one about volcanoes. He did a movie about volcanoes that featured a little bit of them, but he didn't really call them out. There was a number of people he was following around for that movie, but yeah. So it would make total sense to me if he went back and did an in-depth one, except that someone's already done that. But that happens, right? There were 2 Capote movies that came out in the same year.
Very true.
So
yep.
Something just in the universe tells people this is the thing right now.
Yeah, that's so true. I feel like this has been the first documentary in a while.
It has been. Let's see. Let's go to the slides. It has been a while, so does that mean we're not watching documentaries or we're just not reviewing them?
I just feel like I don't see them often in theaters. So hopefully, I guess one is the intent to see more, because this just, if I hadn't seen like an Instagram post, then I would have never known, honestly, until like later. So I think that there's more documentaries, that'll be out on the circuit. It's just something to look out for. And unfortunately for us, or I guess for everybody, it's going to be in like art house settings as opposed to an AMC.
True.
Or Regal Cinema.
So we both gave this one pretty high marks. Just as a reminder to anyone who's watching, the 15 is the highest score you can possibly get as a documentary film because we block out some of the less relevant categories that we usually judge movies on, regular non-documentary movies. Cinematography was awesome. Again, I like the interspersed old footage. And I think it's probably hard to find that stuff, and it's probably even harder to get the rights to it after you find
what you want.
Production quality and set was good. I thought average for what it was, but you thought above average?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty cool to intersperse what the current climate is for tennis. So like what's going on now and featuring kind of younger folks and like the tennis camps. And I just thought it was really, really well done. Yeah. Okay. And also I guess that goes into Rater's choice. I don't know. I just went in as, not really knowing much and was just really, really impressed. Like I find myself even this morning telling people like, oh my gosh, you have to see this. Like kind of going out of my way to be like, oh, you really have to see this, because I feel like almost everybody should see this, just to learn, you're learning something new. It's something very culturally relevant and pretty much, it shows. Again, I'm just shocked that like it hasn't been done before, or, or maybe he's been approached, but, it wasn't done in the right way. So I'm pretty sure a lot of vetting had to go around, the way that he wanted this done. And his like shoe collection is very impressive, and his house was like very impressive, and it was just, I don't know, it was great.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely doesn't come across as someone who wants publicity. Like he definitely seems like a very sort of, oh, you want to do a documentary film? Go do it on someone else. Do you have any other thoughts or feelings about Who is Stan Smith?
No, actually, I don't have anything further. Amazing job.
Good work. Do you have anything to plug in this episode?
I guess I do. I think this might be, is it our 100th episode?
It is.
That's amazing. Yay! By the time I guess this video drops, we will have a collectible so that you can download the collectible. We'll have a code. I'll give you a code.
Nice. It'll be in the description. Look for it.
Okay. Yay. Yes.
Awesome. Well, this has been a fun little adventure. We started as a pandemic project, and now we're up to having reviewed 100 different movies or film, entertainment style things. I don't know. Let me try that again.
Events, Q&As, activations.
Right. Pop-up stores.
Yeah, pop-up stores.
Movies, TV series.
I Heart Korean Movies. Right. AMC stub members, Premiere stub members.
Right.
Amazon screenings.
Right.
We basically
Fathom events.
We basically have seats at the Lincoln Center.
Right. One day somebody will come by and put like 2 seats in there that are like special, like velvet, like colored, and they'll have our names on them.
One day.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.